All right, guys, we're going to talk a little bit about squatting. Last week I talked to you guys about the flare out of the foot and how that can affect the hip and upstream. And we talked about some tips and tricks on how to keep those feet planted, you know, using a line, using some guide. If you've been following Corian, I've been working with her on that foot out, and she's been really working on it. So she's been putting tape on the floor, and if you go into her story, you'll see that she was working on making sure those feet land on those marks every time. That is one way to do it, because you're telling your brain where you need to go, and then you can check yourself right away. That's probably the best way. Now, somebody else asked me, what if I make sure that my feet are planted, but I still have those issues? So a lot of things I'm starting to see now is we get a strength bias on one side. Typically, it's going to be our strong side, typically, or it's going to be a side where the opposite side of an injury, or sometimes it can be the side of an injury. So what that means is, like, we typically will go down and we have a slight shift towards the side that is stronger, and then when we come out, we tend to press through that strong side. What that's going to do is, obviously, if I'm under load, that shift at the bottom as I press creates a shearing motion in your lower back. Your brain is going to recognize that as a fault, because the spine is essentially doing this in the columns, okay? And there's a little twisting action. Your body does not like that, and it's going to flare up. What happens is the muscles are going to seize to protect you from that shearing motion. So when we have under load, this shearing turn or press out is a problem. So how do we correct it? Corrective exercises would be putting yourself under load or tension, not necessarily a super load, but really focusing on slow and controlled tempo work so I can feel it. You want to grip the ground with your toes, okay? A lot of times I tend to see is I'll see a foot come off to the side, or I'll see these toes start to come up. Some of us got in a bad habit of saying, hey, press through your heels, right? So that when what we're doing is we're squatting, we're going through the heels. But you should have full contact of the ground. You want to grip the ground with all of your toes, pressing through equal. And if you can think about, is the pressure in my feet equal? Now as I come out of this squat, instead of shifting to the side, I'm going to really grip that ground and press through the bottoms of my feet as I'm gripping that ground. That'll help with the shearing motion. Now obviously when we're moving fast, sometimes we lose the concentration to be able to do that, because I'm trying to go fast as possible. Motor control sometimes loses because I haven't been practicing it. So you're going to train yourself with slow and controlled tempo work. You can put weight on this. We suggest that you start slow and controlled first. You know, you do 3 sets of 10 every day with a tempo of 3 down and 3 up, making sure, and I would start unloaded, because now I can feel if there's a shift, okay, I can fix it, and I can press through both feet, and I'm not loaded, and I have less chance of injury. Okay, that's the first way we correct it. And then as those become easier, we can start adding load, we can start adding speed, and then everything becomes corrected after that. Okay, so here, that was a little tip coming from one of the athletes who asked me that off my video last week when I talked about the flare out. So thank you for submitting that question. If you guys have more questions for me, send them my way. I'd love to make a video for you guys. I'm going to keep sending these mobility tips as they come in. So remember to subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, share it, do anything you can to get it out there so more people can see this, because the idea here is to move without injuries. That's my goal. All right, we'll see you guys next week.